Hi and welcome to the Heresy Hobbyist. This is a channel dedicated to wargaming during the time of the Horus Heresy, a bitter civil war that saw the Titan legions of the Adeptus Titanicus, colossal god engines of war, stride into battle. There's going to be regular updates about the armies I'm going to be collecting and obviously painting them up, and the battles that I fought and the stratagems that I've employed. So to make sure you don't miss out on any of the upcoming content, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell icon to be notified of any future updates. So in this first post or video, what I'm going to be doing is quickly going through what I currently have for Adeptus Titanicus and where I currently am. Having a quick look through some of the things that I've been assembling, what I've been building, and what's going to be coming up in the future. So first of all, obviously the main thing that we have is the rulebook. So as you can see, I'm slowly working my way through reading this. Absolutely glorious rulebook. If you're looking at getting started yourself, this is probably one of the best ways of getting into it. You can buy a rule set for, I believe it's £35, and basically you get the rule book, you get the data cards for the Titans, I forgot what they're called, battlefield objectives or battlefield assets, which are missile launchers and silos that you can place around the battlefield, as well as the cards that you use to set out your weapons. But as we see here, lots of examples of tables that can be laid out, obviously all the main rules, how to place orders, some nice colour schemes for a couple of Titan legions. Those are the battlefield assets I was saying about. So you have macro cannon batteries, plasma generators, void shield relays and so on. These are plastic components that come in the box set, which you can then paint up. And obviously in the future I'll be looking at how I've painted those up. There might even be a couple of episodes where I'll literally just paint through them and give you some hints and tips on doing that. So like I say, there's the rule book. We'll be having a bit more of an in-depth look at that in a future episode. Just find somewhere to put this out of the way. So one of the things you also get is a summary sheet of all the main rules. So I've laminated mine so I don't spill coffee or whatever all over it. So some of the models I've already got built up. We have a couple of Warlord Titans. So they come with the cannons already, missile launchers. You don't get any other options in the pack, and those are going to be coming out in the future, I believe. As plastic add-ons or resin add-ons, I'm not quite sure which they are. As you can see here, what I've done to future-proof mine is I've actually magnetised them. So very simply, just click back on, so any future weapons that come out I can then swap and change in between. Same with the missiles that go on the top. And as you can see, I've actually fully assembled mine with all the armour plates. I don't think it's going to be that difficult to actually paint with the armour plates on. I could be proven wrong. We shall see. So, like I say, there we have. Doesn't want to go on. There we are. So that's the first Titan, the Warlord, and then obviously the second one, just the same. And this just gone nicely. Lovely, nice sounding click as the magnets kick in. And again. So I've got two Warlord Titans. And 6 knights all made up. Now I did try magnetising these, but it didn't work as well as I thought, so I decided not to continue on with those. I just need to take out the magnets on these ones and glue the arms back in place. But I've given them all different options. So I have one with a Gatling cannon and a melter gun, another one with, I thought I had one with two, oh yeah, actually it's this one. This one is the one with 2 chain fists, and then just a different assortment of weapons there. All been spray primed with Xandri dust. I have got a colour scheme in mind, but we're going to talk about that in a future post as well. Don't want to give everything away in this one. Like I said, this is more an introduction of what we're going to be looking at and what we're going to be discussing over the coming weeks, months and hopefully years. Just get that to go back in place, there we go. Put these back on the shelf. There we go. I'm also reading the Titanicus novel to get into the real feel of Titans. Now obviously this is set in the Warhammer 40,000 setting as opposed to the Warhammer 30,000 setting, which is the Horus Heresy, which is what Adeptus Titanicus is set in. This is set in M40... Oh, when did this say it was set? M41-779, whereas Adeptus Titanicus is set in M31. So yeah, I'm reading that one at the minute, which will then be quickly followed by Warlord. And then the next one is out called Imperator. That's out in paperback fairly soon. So I'm going to be ordering that. And then in December, I believe a new novel is coming out called Titan Death, which will tie into the first expansion to Adeptus Titanicus. So very much looking forward to those. I've also started on the actual Horus Heresy novels. So at the minute there's 53 novels, and I have the first 10. So I'm going to be getting hold of these and reading through these once I've read all the Warlord and Titanicus novels. Slowly catching up. So that's where I am with the reading. As it comes to the models, my next project is going to be a Reaver Titan. So there's the instructions, and it comes 3 sprues, really nice plastic, just like the other kits. Lots of details, lots of parts, and again I'm going to be magnetising the weapons, and I will be fully assembling it, including all the armour plates, and then getting it primed up again in Xandri dust. I'm basically making up my own Titan Legion. It's going to be a force for the traitors, and it's my own, like I say, it's my own legion called Legio Festus. So they're going to be based around and followers of Nurgle. I do like Nurgle. I've always wanted to do Nurgle things and have never got around to doing it. So this is the perfect opportunity to start. So that is next on my to build list. So as well as the models and the cards, which are the big data cards, which I'll show you an example of because I've left them in the box, because I wasn't quite as prepared as I thought I was going to be for this, but I will be for the next episode. So you get, for each Titan, as you can see there, you have a data card which gives you all the dice you need to roll, all the status levels for your Titan, how many void shields it has, how your plasma reactor is doing, how much damage you've taken, and where you can place your cards for your different weapons. So these weapons come in these packs. You actually do get a selection in your main rule set, or if you've got one of the Grandmaster Edition boxes, which basically has everything you need to get started, including models. You get some in there as well. I'm just going to reach across here because I haven't opened these. So for example, for my brand new Reaver, here we go. This is where I slice open my finger on the YouTubes. Okay, this proper unboxing. My very first, and it's a Reaver pack. So you get more packs. There we go. Oh no, I think I might have a blunt blade. Stumped by plastic. There we go. So you have, by the way, your different weapons. So Reaver Titan Power Fist tells you the range, how accurate it is, what dice you need to roll. So for example, 2 dice and it's strength 9, how many points it costs, and any special traits that it has. These are special rules which are all given in the main book. And then, should your weapon get damaged, you flip it over, so you can't use it, tells you that it's disabled, what you need to roll to repair it, and if you take any critical damage, what happens. So for example, if the arm again takes critical damage, it explodes or detonates, and the body takes a strength 7 hit. So you have, for example, we've got power fists, chain fists, missile launchers, laser destructors, mega bolters, support racks, or warp missile support racks, Gatling blasters, laser blasters, volcano cannons, melter cannons. And it's the same again for the Warlord. I'll just pop those in there. Okay, so the Warlord. Let's take a look. Let's see if there's anything new in this one. And yes, even more plastic. There we go. So again, Bellicosa volcano cannons, that's what my Titans are currently armed with. They're 55 points each. You've got Sun Fury plasma annihilators coming, Ariok Titan power claws, paired Gatling blasters, paired turbo laser destructors, Mori quake cannons. We've said that one, Apocalypse missile launchers. Again, I've got those on there. They're 15 points. What was that one? Vulcan Mega Bolter arrays. So as you can see, a lot of these haven't been released yet as model parts, so they'll be coming out. Again, one of the good things is that, like I say, I've magnetised my weapons so I can easily swap them over. So again, I'll be showing you how to magnetise in a future post. So that is basically everything for Adeptus Titanicus. So what else are we going to be looking at? Well, like I said, while the initial content of the site is going to be focused on Adeptus Titanicus, I am going to be looking at the wider range of Games Workshop games, which will include, but it's not limited to, Age of Sigmar, Warhammer 40,000, the new Lord of the Rings, Blood Bowl and Necromunda. Just move that out of the way, otherwise I'll stab myself. So the first new edition will be Warhammer Underworld Night Vault. That's a competitive board game of fast-paced arena skirmish combat. Low model count games such as Adeptus Titanicus, Blood Bowl and Warhammer Underworld is basically where I am at the minute. They're very much my strong point. So like I say, I'm going to be looking at that. I'm going to be getting hold of my copy at the weekend. So the next show will be a unboxing of that, as well as a quick look at the new White Dwarf, which will be out this weekend as well. So other things I'm going to be looking at is Age of Sigmar. I've been a huge fan of fantasy, especially Warhammer Fantasy, ever since 3rd edition, back in the 80s and 90s, and I've played virtually every version all the way through to Age of Sigmar, and now with the 2nd edition which has launched, I am going to be getting back into that in a very big way. I'm still trying to decide which force to go with. I might go the route of using one of the 2 warbands that come in Warhammer Underworlds, leaning towards the Night Haunts, because I've always been an undead player. In fact, I even actually got the Legions of Nagash battle tome, because I thought I was going to start doing those guys. Haven't quite decided yet. I'm thinking Legions of Nagash. I love undead. I love the large models. Nagash would be a very good centerpiece model to have a go at. I'm really wanting to take my painting into a new realm. Pardon the pun. Take it to the next stage. Try and get a lot more detail put into there as opposed to quickly painting just for battlefield games. And obviously, because I'm what is described as a fluffy player, I love the narrative version. I always have a story to tell about my different armies. Like I say, I'm making my own Titan Legion. I will probably make my own force for Nagash, my own necromancers, my own wizards and vampires. Like I say, I haven't actually read through the book yet, so I'm not quite sure of the how it's all organised. I'm probably going to be doing that, and obviously to tie in with that, because I'm a huge book nerd, I will be reading Soul Wars. This is a huge novel to read. Basically, it is set within Shaiish, which is the realm of death. And it's all about Nagash, as it says here, calling forth his soulless legions to reassert his dominion. His dread advance begins with the free city of Glimsforge, bastion of Azir in the realm of death. So obviously, with it being very Nagash orientated, and quite possibly some Night Haunt as well, what better way of getting started and getting into it? But it doesn't stop there either. I'm also going to be looking at Warhammer 40,000. The last time I really played this game was probably 2nd edition. Again, back in the 90s. It probably helped that I worked for Workshop back then, when it moved from Rogue Trader and the first box set came out with Space Marines, Goth Orcs and Gretchins, and a card standee representing the Dreadnought, the Orky Dreadnought. Def Can, I think it was called back then. So yeah, I'm probably going to be getting into 40k. I've got the book to read through. What I have been doing, as well as probably quite a few of you out there, is I've been getting the Conquest magazine. I've got the first couple of issues, I've got the next ones on the way. So, as I've said, I do like Nurgle, and the fact that you can do Nurgle and collect a whole Nurgle army, as well as Space Marines. So I'm probably going to be slowly collecting these 2 armies. So this will be a long-term project over the next few years as the magazines get released and the armies grow. So that'll be quite an interesting little project to go. So some episodes will be conquest episodes. So, as you can see, quite a lot going on. I hope to be doing fairly regular, at least once a week episodes. But you'll also be able to follow over on the website where I'll be posting regular articles. I'm hoping for maybe 2 to 3 articles a week. These will be where I basically cover the 4 main areas of my hobby, which are collecting and assembling the models, obviously painting the models, gaming, so tactics, strategies used, army list composition, and finally reading, obviously the army books, the rule books, the novels, and other background associated material. You can check that out at www.theheresyhobbyist.co.uk. You can also follow me on Instagram, which is at the Heresy Hobbyist, or find me on Twitter at Heresy Hobbyist. Most of my social media stuff will be on Instagram, and that will link as well quite nicely to my website. You can also support the channel and the website by visiting Element Games to buy all of your 40k, Adeptus Titanicus, Warhammer Underworlds, and other many different varied games, hobby essentials such as paints and glues. And if you use the code JOHN230 during checkout, you'll be able to get some extra store credit, which you can then turn into whatever other purchases you wish. So that's basically it for this very first episode. Sorry for rambling on a little bit, and I look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the icon bell. Cheers for now.